Okay, I think we are live on all of our social media here. So I'm just going to get into Facebook really quickly. Everybody, please give me your city and state in the chat while we're getting set up here. Put your city and state in the chat so I can recognize you. Yes, we're live on Facebook. Great, perfect.
Hello.
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Oh, geez. Oh, I got to get right. Oh, my gosh.
Everybody put your city and state in the chat, please. Put your city and state in the chat so we can hear you and we can acknowledge you tonight. We are officially live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope.
Hello.
I think those are our main channels there, as well as here in Zoom. So we want to welcome everyone tonight. We're going to get started in another 2 minutes. In the meantime, put your city and state in the chat. And yes,
Hello,
Dr.
Georgia.
Kisha, how are you doing today?
Do you really want to?
It's been a challenging day for you, huh?
Yes, a little setback of a day, but it's
Goodness.
gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. I'm gonna get my attitude together. It's gonna be all right.
It's always gonna be all right. It's just like one of those things where you get a piece of news and you're like, oh
yeah. I guess I'm just in that circle right now. This is still in the shock and awe stage right now. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, it is well. Here we are. It's 10K time.
Yay!
Yes, it's exciting.
Yes, it is 10K time officially.
Yes,
so
passion work, purpose-driven work here. That makes me feel really good.
I know. We've got some traction, major traction happening as well. So we're going to get started on that tonight as everybody starts trickling in here. So welcome to the 10K Project. We are the nation's largest community of investors who are funding Black businesses for as little as $100. The concept is super simple. When 10,000 of us get together, we put in $100 each. That's $1 million. We can start funding our own businesses. We can profit from our own innovation. We can help build Black wealth, create jobs in the community, and so much more. I am here with the lovely Dr. Kisha Waddell, who is our Chief Instructional Officer. We had a couple of other officers here who unfortunately tonight had other meetings to attend. So, the show keeps going on. The lives keep happening no matter what. So we want to welcome Garen in here from Hanover. Garen, I'm still waiting for your membership. Still waiting for your membership, Garen. I'm gonna text you. We also have in the house tonight, we've got San Antonio, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Jonesboro, Georgia, Montgomery, Alabama, Orlando, Florida, Atlanta, DC area, West Palm Beach, Florida, Fort Worth, Texas, Norwich, Connecticut, Chicago, New York, Rochester, Kansas City, Wharton, New Jersey. We've got Highland, Indiana in the house. So we want to say hello to everybody. We come every Wednesday in order to talk about the 10K. Sorry. Oh, gosh. I don't even know what day it is. That's how bad I know. So I will tell you that part of our application for the SEC, we're finishing up the last few things for our SEC application, and part of it is writing a business plan for the 10K project. So I barely rested on Saturday. I've been working on it all day Sunday, all day today. So I really don't know what day it is, as well as getting stuff notarized. We got to get fingerprinted and all of that stuff. So that is where we are. So hi, Talisha. Let's see here. I'm going to bring our lovely Talisha in here as well, our Chief Technology Officer. So what we're going to do today are a few things. Number one is I give about a 10-minute presentation about what the 10K project is. It might run into 15 minutes because we also have Dr. Kisha Waddell, who is going to talk about the Knowledge Center. We're still looking for content for our Knowledge Center, and it's a way for you to promote your businesses. If you are a specialist in any area of investing, wealth coaching, or entrepreneurship, business coaching, we want to open that up to the community. And then we are going to answer questions. So please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A. Also, we have tomorrow night, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who is joining us tomorrow night. So I put that in the chat. I put that link in the chat for you to go to Eventbrite and register for that. If you have not done so already, that is going to be an awesome evening. And, you know, also we will give some updates with regards to what is happening with the 10K project, where we are in the process, and even more. So first of all, good evening, Talisha. Welcome.
Good evening. Hello, everyone.
Oh, good evening.
So let me open up the presentation here, and welcome to the 10K project. Tonight, we are talking about using something called equity crowdfunding in order to build Black wealth. So what is equity crowdfunding and how can it help build the Black community? That is what we're talking about tonight. During this presentation tonight, you're going to hear what equity crowdfunding is, how it benefits the Black community, some of the intangible benefits for the community when we participate in funding Black businesses, how the 10K project can help build Black wealth, and we'll also talk about some of the news and upcoming events and take you a little bit behind the scenes with what we are doing at the 10K project. So the truth is that I started out actually close to about 15, 16 years ago in my mother's bookkeeping company. And I started off part-time, ended up working with her full-time, had a chance to work with her doing accounting for many different industries. I was also her business development person for a while as well. So I was doing all the marketing and sales with her, I should say more so than for her, doing a lot of the lead generation. And as we were growing that business, my mother said, you know, one day, hey, you know, I want to get a bank loan in order to grow our business. So you have the master's degree, Cherie, you write the business plan. And that was all the instruction that I got. So I put together what I could. I showed it to a mentor of mine, and the mentor said, make these few changes and give it to the bank. And I did exactly what he said. And the bank president said it was one of the best business plans he had ever read. Well, I have the typical mother who starts bragging to everybody who would listen about the wonderful business plan that her daughter wrote. And there's a point to this story. So her friends, her clients started asking me, well, will you write my business plan for me? And fast forward to a decade later, I've been a business plan writer full-time for about 7 years. During that time, I noticed that a lot of our entrepreneurs were having trouble raising the funds that they needed. It wasn't that they were not great entrepreneurs. It wasn't that they didn't hustle hard. It was that they didn't have the networks needed in order to successfully get their businesses funded. People from other ethnicities would come to me and I would say, hey, who are you going to show this business plan to? They'd show it to cousin, aunt, that venture capitalist that they've known for 12 years, and they were getting funding. I also noticed during the period of time, this renaissance of We Buy Black. And I started asking if we bought Black, maybe we would invest Black too. But the funny story is I didn't necessarily want to do this. I had been talking about it for 3 years. I've been saying, you know, 10,000 of us get together and we put in $100, that's $1 million. We could start funding our own businesses. And finally, in a meeting, Tawana Rivers, who is our chief operating officer, says, Cherie, when are you going to do something about that? And that was how the 10K project was born. So for the past 4 months now, we have been holding focus groups. We have opened up membership, and we have opened this up to the community, and the community has said overwhelmingly that they're interested in this idea. So many companies start by receiving funding from private investors, whether they're family, friends, close associates. And as those companies grow, the private investors are the ones who make the lion's share of profit from those private businesses. And some of America's most famous private investors are the sharks. We've seen the sharks before. People, entrepreneurs come into the Shark Tank and they talk about their business. They talk about what their business is and how does it make money, and how do the sharks or the investors get their money back, and when do they get it back? Well, this is what's done with what's called private investors. And there are about 300,000 private investors in the United States. However, most of us don't know any of those investors by name and couldn't go to them and ask them for money. So there's a major problem, actually two major problems within Black businesses. Number one is we're least likely to get funded. And number two, by the time we, the regular person, finds out about these opportunities, it's too late for us to get in on those opportunities. Most of the profits have already been made. But what if we, the people, could earn these returns and share in the profits? Thanks to the internet and the Jobs Act of 2012 signed by President Obama, Black entrepreneurs have another option to get the money that they so desperately need from regular people like us. We are the crowd. And this is something called equity crowdfunding. And the way that it works is entrepreneurs will work with an SEC-approved equity crowdfunding portal, and those entrepreneurs can raise up to $1,070,000. Then investors, each individual person, has the ability to review the business plan. They get to read the terms of the agreement. They get to do research or something called due diligence on each individual company. And if that investor says, I like that company, I want to invest in that company, then that investor is able to receive equity or partial ownership in the companies that they choose to invest in. And then finally, if the company makes it big, the crowd shares in the profit. If not, investors only lose what they put into the company. So equity crowdfunding is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA. So there are 4 other co-founders, and all 5 of us have to get fingerprinted. We have to go through an FBI background check. This is not something you could just slap up a website and say, hey, we want to be an equity crowdfunding portal. Also, the businesses that are on equity crowdfunding portals also have to go through SEC regulation. So these businesses are partially vetted by the Securities and Exchange Commission. But there are a lot of great benefits for us as a community embracing equity crowdfunding. Number one is it makes investing a family affair, because grandparents can leave generational wealth and children can participate early and learn investing and entrepreneurship. So one of the things that's going to happen on a weekly basis when we are SEC approved is that an entrepreneur will come in front of the entire community and will say, this is my business, this is what I do, and your kids will be able to see entrepreneurs and see industries that they never knew existed. Another intangible benefit is properly funded companies hire people from within the community, and businesses have a better chance of growth. Because when a business has employees, they know they have a certain amount of work that's going to be done within that business. Another intangible benefit is we can uplift our young people and celebrate their ingenuity, which is very, very big for us. Whether it's college students or even high school students getting internships, or whether it's young people being celebrated in terms of their entrepreneurial ideas, we can uplift our young people. So the 10K Project is a community, and we're growing the largest community of investors who want to fund Black businesses for as little as $100 per investment. And again, 10,000 of us get together, we put in $100 each. That's $1 million raised for that business. We can fund our own companies, we can profit from our own innovation, we can create jobs, and we can help build Black wealth. So how does a 10K project work? It's very simple. We're kind of like a matchmaker for 3 different groups of people: entrepreneurs who want to raise money, investors who have as little as $100 to put into the companies that they want to invest in, and business specialists that can give support before, during, and after funding. So those business specialists can be accountants, attorneys, digital marketers, project managers, operations specialists. Any and every type of support that's needed for these businesses, we basically are a matchmaker, and we put these 3 groups of people together. And when we do that, the idea is that we have what Dr. Claude Anderson calls powernomics. We have our very own ecosystem of individuals. The 10K Project is also focused on certain, we will invest, that's a bad. We will have all sorts of companies and industries on our platform. But we are doing right now an economist study that's looking at 5 very specific industries, including manufacturing, professional services, real estate, agriculture, logistics, and I know that there's another one, but I'm blanking on it right now. So one of the things we're focused on is being very strategic in the businesses that are coming on the platform. Those businesses need to be scalable, and they need to have both a growth plan and an exit plan for the investors. And at the 10K Project, you and I are what's called everyday VCs. A VC is a venture capitalist. So the sharks are venture capitalists, and now you and I are everyday VCs. So at the 10K Project, we're the home of the everyday VC. Deborah, a few weeks ago, gave us a wonderful testimonial. She said, I already made investments in Sunjoin, Black Mama Tea and Cafe, Black Sands Entertainment, Vegan Fine Foods, and Threesome Chocolate Cuisine. It was getting difficult to find Black-owned businesses on a particular site I was using. Thanks for creating a website that will decrease my search by 100%. I'm overly excited and ready to invest. So thank you, Deborah. So in order to become a part of the 10K Project, you need to become a member. And what does membership get you? It gets you a seat at that table. So we talked about the fact that a lot of times, by the time we as regular people find out about opportunities, it's too late. The lion's share of the profits have been made. Several months ago, Tyler Perry did a speech when he won an award, and he said he wasn't interested in going to someone else's table. He wanted to build his own table. Well, that's what we're doing here. And you, as a member of the 10K Project, can get a seat at the table. That will give you financial literacy education, which Dr. Kisha is going to talk about, that knowledge center that we're putting together. And it gets you an opportunity to hear all the pitches on the platform and invest in all the deals on the platform for life. And it's a one-time payment of $100. So our member education includes so many things. It includes everything from making money, saving money, reducing debt, repairing credit, reducing your taxes, developing money-savvy kids ages 5 to 27, starting family banks. We've already had that session, and you are able to get the replay if you are a member. The best practices for analyzing deals on the platform, because we want you to know what professional investors use in order to analyze deals. How to build a strong investment portfolio, creating and preserving wealth, and group economics 2.0, and so much more. Again, this is a part of your $100 payment that is a one-time lifetime payment. So membership is already open. We have some other milestones that are coming up. Summer and fall, we have a publicity tour that we're doing. In fact, I have, after tonight, or after our conversation tonight at 7:30, I have a media interview that I'm doing. So I'll probably have a sore throat when all of that is done. But we have a major publicity tour that we're on. October 22nd, our Investor Knowledge Center opens. Again, Dr. Kisha is going to talk about that a lot more. October 27th, the Business Owner's Guide to Being on the Platform. We have a lot of entrepreneurs coming to us asking us, how do they raise money? October 27th, that guide is going to be released. So if you want to go to our website, the10kproject.com, go to the Entrepreneurs tab and complete that form, you will get the guide as soon as it's released. We're actually already started writing it. So November 11th, the Entrepreneur Knowledge Center opens. Again, Dr. Kisha is going to talk about that. And estimated spring 2021 is when we expect to have our FINRA and SEC approval and investments will begin. Of course, we can't push the federal government. However, as soon as the federal government is ready, we'll be ready as well. Founding member gifts are coming soon. The first 1,000 members, first of all, we have over 1,000 members. Thank you to everybody who's a founding member. I think Tawana paid for the member gifts today. I know she's in Facebook here. Tawana, you can let me know. I think you did. If not, they've been authorized. We have our founding member gifts, and we will let you know most likely next week what those are. Also, we have some announcements here. First, we want to invite you to become a member at the10kproject.com. That's the10kproject.com. Once you feel comfortable, we really want you to consider becoming a member of our community. You can join us on Facebook, Instagram. If you're on YouTube, please like the video and please subscribe. We also have a Twitter. I haven't been doing that much on Twitter, but we do have Twitter. Everything is Black 10K Project. You can find us everywhere on social media. You can share the 10K Project with your friends, your like-minded friends. You can attend our Building Black Wealth webinars. Tomorrow at 7:30, we have the Honorable Dr. Dennis Kimbrough coming. I'm going to fan out officially. It's going to be my first time fanning out. I did put earlier in the chat with Zoom, I did put the link for Eventbrite. If you have not had a chance to sign up for that, you're welcome to do that. And Tawana is saying, yes, the deposit was made on the founding member gifts, and we are also working on t-shirts. I'll let you know that as well. We are working on t-shirts. We are steps closer to it. So, and that'll be for all members. And we'll let people know about that as that opens up. So next week, I'm super, super excited about this. This is a members only benefit. So there's a woman who is coming who has built 3 7-figure businesses. And what I want her to talk about next week is the characteristics of an entrepreneur who knows how to scale. Because as investors, I want you to know, how do successful entrepreneurs think? And this woman has built 3 7-figure businesses. So this is something that you will want to attend. If you're an entrepreneur that wants to build a 7-figure business, you'll definitely want to be there. Check your emails out. You will have a Zoom link and you can come to the Zoom link. You can ask her questions. She's super excited to come next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now I'm going to pass the baton over to Dr. Kisha Waddell to talk about our Knowledge Center.
Family. I definitely want to welcome everybody tonight. Thanks so much for coming. As you know, education in this space is critical. We have a tremendous community of investors ready to support Black businesses and businesses that are looking for our support. But what we also have are those specialists in this group. And we are looking for you. I am seeking your expertise. Our Knowledge Center is for our ecosystem, and it will range from financial literacy information, as Cherie mentioned, that is, specific to every type of investor, whether you're somebody who's just starting, totally new to investing, all the way to someone who is an accredited investor who's been investing, but there's so much in between for all of us to learn. And it's you with the expertise that I'm looking for and we need for our Knowledge Center. So you might be wondering what's in it for you. We are since we are an SEC, a regulated platform, we cannot exchange any funds for this information, nor can we have affiliates or anything of that nature. So we are looking for you to be owners of your information that you're gifting to the project. It will be behind a paywall or a membership wall kind of thing. If you have any concerns about just certain people receiving the information, but what's in it for you is exposure. Our community is here and eager. Education is something that many of the folks we've been talking to, many of our members have been expressing as one of the unique functions or value adds that we offer at our platform. And we, as a equity crowdfunding investor myself, I would absolutely agree. It's basically my other communities that I've come involved with to learn all these different things. So again, just like our one testimonial, the person who mentioned that this will be that one-stop shop, truly it will be that one-stop shop, but we need to hear from you. So when we hear from you, it's brand exposure that you'll be getting in exchange for your content. It'll be traffic to your paid services. Certainly, we're going to encourage folks to use the service. We can't point to any one person, so we're looking for multiple people under a number of different topics that I'll cover shortly. But you are looking for that traffic to come to your paid services. It's a possibility for you in this situation. We are also looking to create a virtual business directory. A lot of times we know exactly where to go for all of the, best barbershops and the best places to get our food, that kind of thing. But this is business services. Business services, there are tons of, that I'm learning more and more every day, tons of Black-owned professional services that are doing extremely well. And they actually are looking for their own folks to support. But when you're in business, you'll take anybody's money. It's not a problem. But many of us want to buy Black and support Black businesses of all types, of the professional services included. So once we have all your information, you could be included in that virtual business directory. Again, a one-stop shop place. Again, we're looking to build Black Wall Street in the sense that we will be that one-stop shop. And again, just as a reminder, we have no affiliations. We can have any affiliate types of support, back and forth exchange. But again, what the kind of topics that we're looking to support, again, we're supporting the topics of financial literacy for the investors, as well as the entrepreneurs, and for our specialists. The investor information would include things like making more money. And I mean, making more money in legal ways, that maybe are ways you've never thought of. And you're that person who knows all these different ways to make more money. We need more money so we can invest more money. We need more money so we can save more money. So those kinds of things will be covered. So once you get that job or whatever, or you're got something on the side that's making that money, you'll need to know how to save more money. We want to have someone who can teach us those kinds of things. And reducing debt. That's huge. It doesn't matter how much money you make if your debt to earning ratio is too high, right? So learning how to reduce our debt and then to repair our credit and to reduce our taxes all keep money in our pocket. We don't want to miss out on the babies. We're developing money savvy kids from the little ones all the way to the young adults to 27 years old, 5 to 27. So again, if you have any books, any games, gaming is huge in terms of transferring of knowledge. If you any games, any type of thing that is student-centered or kid-centered or young adult focused, that's specific to the needs of that particular market. We are looking for that. They are our future, and that's the only way to really change things so that they're not 50 years old plus like myself and just learning these kind of things. And then further, once we get that, we're ready to start learning about family banks. And certainly we're on this platform to support our businesses or small businesses. So we need to know how to actually analyze the deals on this platform. That's going to be a critical piece of education. Moving forward or onward here, our investment portfolios. As we get going here and we start to invest in these different companies, we'll need to start to really understand about portfolio management and the like. And then with all of this that we're doing, it's all, powernomics. It's economics 2.0 for our futures and our families. Moving on to the entrepreneur education, we are looking to build strong businesses. I know many of us have tremendous ideas, but maybe a lot of times we may need a little help in terms of the building of the business. Now, certainly we'll have businesses on our platform at all different stages. And as Cherie's mentioned, we are definitely looking for some who have very strong plans, whether they have been around for 15 years or they're really just starting up. But the strong plan we know is what will get us further along here. So writing business plans, if you're that professional person who is helping people with business plans and strategic planning, building scalable business, that's huge right now. Everybody's online. A lot of things can be scalable, but if you have that type of business where you have to make that pivot so that you can reach many more people, that's the kind of thing we'll be learning about. Networking, they say that your wealth is in your network. So networking principles. If you're a crackerjack person who can teach others how to make sure that there's always somebody in the funnel in terms of your network and someone you can reach out to, that will be huge. Firing teams, all of that information is important. We're starting to get into kind of the holistic kind of idea of the entrepreneur, not just your skills, but having kind of the disposition, to be an entrepreneur. Certainly, marketing and sales and buying businesses. That's a whole nother piece that is a next level kind of skill. Certainly business law, your taxes, just like as the investor, you are trying to minimize your tax, situation and in the most legal possible ways. Business taxes, business law, super important. You can have a tremendous business and then lose it all by the fine print, something missed in the law. So that's super important. Negotiating, we're looking for folks who have expertise in the area of negotiating and time management and productivity. Certainly leadership is huge right now. How to really be a leader is not just being that person who's in charge. You have to lead people and encourage people. So if you have the skill to break that down for an entrepreneur, that would be tremendous. Valuations, we have to know our numbers for our business. And again, back to the holistic kind of things, health and stress management, huge right now. There's a lot to be stressed about, right? So, but again, to have that tremendous plan, we don't want you to lose it behind just being stressed and overwhelmed. And just miss your opportunity. So, and that's just kind of a normal process of being an entrepreneur, as anyone could support you on. But again, I know somebody's out there to make that abundantly clear. Dealing with failure and help, asking for help, conflict resolution in this journey of being an entrepreneur is huge. And a lot of times you just really do need to hear from a coach on these things. Sometimes you're just so close to your own business that you just need to hear from some other voices who are kind of neutral, but totally understand business. Disaster planning and insurance, again, back to that whole idea of having a tremendous a business plan and business that you lose behind, not being insured properly. That would just be a waste. So again, supporting personal finances for entrepreneurs, just like the investor, is tremendously important. We, as investors on this platform, we're looking for a return on investment. Again, we can't guarantee it, but certainly having your books together, as Cherie mentioned earlier, that was one of the things she always noticed. Noticed for some companies that was kind of the issue there. The other big thing here in terms of this tremendous knowledge center that we are attempting to create, and I need you to get in touch with me about this, it is that we are looking for you, to the person who does participate, make sure you are the person who owns the content. You would be the person who would have to give us your express permission to use your content in our ecosystem and house it on our website. We are looking for that content to be any number of things. This may be things that you actually already have around. Certainly you would probably have tons of different ways you can go. If you can just, once you go to the link there that was just dropped into the chat, the 10kproject.com/partner. Once you get there, you'll see all of these topics all over again. And again, that's not an exhausted list. So if you have a skill set that was not noted and it is not thrown it there, but it's something that you know from your own expertise and your own client base that this is an important concept, please give us a contact us, fill out that form there, and you'll go through the process necessary such that we can get your information. And some really important dates, again, just to reiterate, the 26th of this month, we're looking for you to visit and it's already open now, to visit the partner page, complete the form, and make sure the information is your content alone. We're looking for you to be sure to get the content in as soon as possible, so that by the end of September 30th is when it will be reviewed, and we'll let you know then whether your information has been chosen for the center. Again, just to reiterate again, October 22nd is the day that the center is scheduled to open. We've got a lot of work to do before that even occurs. And then likewise for the entrepreneur guide, actually coming out October 27th. And then the entrepreneur knowledge center will actually open in November. And I think we dropped in the chat there, the entrepreneur URL for the entrepreneurs who are interested in being on our platform. So again, please reach on out. Please share those links for the businesses who may want to get on the platform, as well as some partners, education partners that you may know of. Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah, so we already have some people who have contributed.
Yeah.
Both Talisha and I have like a list of people that we are pursuing. I will say this. So we are cognizant and want to have as many of us contribute to the Knowledge Center. However, if we have to go outside of the community and those businesses are put up on the Knowledge Center, it's because we as a community did not contribute. So I know there is some commercial real estate agents in here who could talk about home ownership. Some not only commercial real estate agents, but some residential real estate agents that could contribute an article about owning a house. Some mortgage broker that could contribute a webinar about that. Some commercial insurance agent who could talk about that. About insurance, some cybersecurity specialists out there. For example, I know within the federal government, for example, you can't get federal contracts unless you have certain cybersecurity protocols. There are those of us who know these things, and you could be a wealth of information, and you can also have traffic to your paid coaching services and things like that. So, we're tapping our friends right now in our personal network, of which, again, Talisha and I have a vast network. However, we want to give first dibs and first opportunities to our members. So, if you get in the Knowledge Center and all of a sudden other people are running away with the leads and stuff like that, we don't want that. We want you, if you're qualified, if you're an attorney, an accountant that could talk to people about business taxes or, anything like that. If you're a wealth coach, contribute to the Knowledge Center. So
We do have a question. Dean
yes.
asked, will these knowledge service providers be vetted, and what will that process entail?
So there is some vetting. There's vetting of the educational content itself. And there is some light vetting with regards to who the person is. However, we will always say buyer beware. So if you look at content and you decide that you want to have a conversation with that service provider and you want to hire that person, do your research, check them out, check their resources or references out as well.
And let me add to that too. Do realize too, this is a source of education that will get you started, certainly. So once you learn, what it is that you start off learning, you can go the path now with better questions and better pointed search for yourself. You understand what I mean? This will get you started. So certainly we do have a bit of a review process to be sure, but again, please be buyer beware to be sure.
Mm-hmm. So Jaquan is asking a great question. Will there be someone that can help with business planning? Okay, so here's the deal. I personally will not. However, I have a book that I wrote, so I'm going to contribute the book to the Knowledge Center. And I probably, unless someone else agrees to do it, I'll probably do like a webinar series with regards to writing business plans. But that'll be the extent of what I do. I know that there's going to be a lot of people who need help writing business plans. So if that is your forte, then I would suggest you get into the community because there will be a lot of people. In fact, every entrepreneur who decides to raise funds on the 10K project by SEC law has to have a business plan. So, I got a lot of business just because people, they knew their stuff in their head, but they didn't have the time or the patience to write it down. Same thing with the financial forecast as well. It just so happened that I know how to do both. A lot of people don't know how to do their financial forecast. So, if you're, and I'm not a CPA or an accountant, I just, worked with my mother in her bookkeeping service, and I had a background in finance. If that's you, then I would suggest you consider that. It could be a great side hustle. We talk about people making more money. These are the types of things that could be great side hustles for people. So, Talisha, I did want to give you a chance to introduce yourself officially.
Yes, I am Talisha Shine. I am the Chief Technology Officer here at the 10K Project. I'm also your community manager in our Facebook groups. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to pop them in there for me at any time. I'm kind of in there and, throughout the day. So if you're looking for certain content, let me know.
Yeah. Okay, then. So we don't have as many questions as we usually have. Usually there's a lot of questions. So either we're doing a better job of explaining, or you all have heard our presentation before, which is really great. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes then. So we are doing a lot with publicity in order to get to our first 10,000 members. That's like my big goal by the end of the year. And we have a radio station, a gospel radio station in Miami that we have started advertising on. One of the things I've been really wanting to do, so I'm in charge of the marketing right now within the 10K project, and I have a team that I'm working with. And one of the things I really wanted to do was break into the Christian market, because they are donating and tithing $14 billion a year to their churches. So I figured, hey, that would be a great market for us to penetrate and get into. We're also looking at some other opportunities for professional organizations for doing some sponsorships of some webinars and some virtual conferences during the fall. So one of the big things that I personally want to do is, I've done the calculations, there are about 10.8 million Black people in America that are between the ages of 28 and 55 that we're really looking to market ourselves to. And these are people that have salaries over $50,000 a year. So, from a marketing point of view, what we're doing is asking, okay, how many eyeballs can we get in front of between now and the end of the year? And, yeah, that's what's happening on the marketing side, but we're doing well. We have some podcasts that we've done. We have media interviews that we've done. We have media interviews forthcoming. In fact, I have one tonight at 7:30. And, if anybody has any other podcasts, especially if you know the podcaster, let us know. We have last night, actually, I did a media interview with one of our members' sons who just started his own podcast. So you all know me. I say, I don't care if it's just me and the podcast host and the podcast host's parents, will show up in order to do the interview, because that's how we share the message of the 10K project. So my big goal is to get us in front of 1 million eyeballs in the next 12 months, and to have, 100,000 people minimum as part of our 10K project family, because as we do that, the more members we have and the more members that are engaged, then the more entrepreneurs we can bring on the platform. And the more entrepreneurs will attract too, because there are other crowdfunding platforms that are out there. Now, don't take it wrong. It is very difficult for our entrepreneurs to get on these other platforms. However, we still want to get the best of the best entrepreneurs here. So there is competition for those entrepreneurs. And we recognize that we want our game to be on point, and we want our investors to be ready when they hear these pitches. So Talisha, Dr. Kisha, what do you guys have
Well,
going
looks
on?
like there's a question here.
Oh, okay. What are the
There's
questions?
chat.
I'm sorry.
There's one in the chat and one in the Q&A. So Steve asked, I believe, he says he's not looking for more membership, but is there things in the works for further funding the 10K project beyond membership?
Great question. No, not at this time in terms of further funding. It really is just membership. One of the great things is we have our attorney fully paid for. So yay! Our SEC attorney that is working with us, and she's had experience before with helping other platforms get funded. So not get funded, I'm sorry. Other platforms get approved. I'm tongue-tied tonight, sorry. So yeah, so that's a great relief to us. And, you know, again, the more members we get, the more qualified and better opportunities we'll get from entrepreneurs.
Yes. Okay.
There's another question.
Question in the Q&A there about HBCUs, and I think there's even a comment about him, so we can just tap those all together.
Okay. What's the question?
Here's the question. It says, are there strategic plans to partner with historically Black organizations, Black churches, and Black fraternities and sororities? So
Absolutely.
we can all work together, not separately.
Absolutely. We actually started off with that as a plan, and we are working it really hard between Dr. Kisha and our marketing assistant and I. But if you are part of a fraternity or a sorority or a church, let us know, because we have discovered that the way in is somebody referring us in. We've tried to do the cold knocking on the door, and we'll be honest with you, it's not working. The way that we get in is somebody saying, hey, would you talk to Cherie? Would you talk to Talisha? Would you talk to Tawana or Dr. Kisha or Eric? And from there, people love us, you know? So yes, so please, info@the10kproject.com is our email.
Yes.
Oh, I want to say one more thing about the HBCUs. So our economist, Eddie the economist, shout out to Eddie. He is starting the Howard University PhD program. Actually, this week is when he's starting. And he had also mentioned about HBCUs as well, and some of the entrepreneurship incubator programs that they have, and that we can start a virtual incubator program as well. But we don't want it to just be for HBCU students, especially those graduate students is what he was plugging for. We want it to be for regular people as well. So we are talking with legal counsel about all of these things. You know, how can we set up these virtual platforms where now, there was a time where you had to be in the exact same class in the exact same school. Now with the power of technology, you know, you've got Dr. Kisha in Detroit and Talisha in Virginia and me in Maryland and Tawana in Kentucky, and here we go, you know. So
and you guys everywhere too.
Yeah, and all of you are everywhere too. Exactly. So other questions?
I have one more in the Q&A here. Let's see. I am coordinating a small group on Thursday evening to discuss creating an economic ministry. Uh-oh, did that one do already? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I lost it. I got lost there. Okay, I lost that one.
You
No,
lost
they're
the
just
question?
asking for a Thursday presentation. I just gave them the email, that info@the10kproject.com if you want to schedule us to do a webinar for you live.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent.
So excellent. Yes. So please email me. So Stephen is saying here, after the membership is paid, I can't contribute to the 10K project. So Stephen, we're going to ask you to hold those funds for the entrepreneurs that are coming to the platform. So hold those funds. And when the entrepreneurs pitch based on the pitches that you like, you're like music to Tawana's ears. Put the cash to the side, put it on the mattress or in a special bank account, and that way you will be super ready and prepared. We don't believe in taking additional money that we don't need either. I'm not that type of person or entrepreneur. We do want additional members, but we want additional members so that we can grow the network, so that we can onboard the appropriate amount of entrepreneurs. You know, so we're good, Stephen, in terms of your membership. Thank you so much.
But keep telling the story, Stephen. Let them know. Let them know what you know. Let them feel how you're feeling, so we can get those new ones in the door towards our 10K.
I see Dawn's question here. Can you please note a few businesses your organization has invested in? So we have not invested in any businesses, Dawn, because we are awaiting our SEC approval. If we put businesses on right now, we would be in orange jumpsuits. So we're waiting our SEC approval.
And again, we don't invest. That's the perfect part of it. So yes, as a platform, we allow you to invest. We ourselves do not invest in the actual businesses. So when we get the approval to actually operate as an equity crowdfunding platform, then we will turn on the lovely technology, which I just have done an upgrade to recently. So I'll be surprised if some of the new stuff is in the background, just making it real pretty and some extra functionality that came along. So, but when the marketplace becomes live, that's when you can actually do your investing.
Yeah. And Dawn is also asking an excellent question here. Folks investing in businesses, what is the amount and the return? That's one of the great things, is that every entrepreneur, every individual entrepreneur, when they pitch, they will let you know about the expected return on investment, how you'll get your money back, when you'll get your money back. Recognize that these are mostly 7 to 10 years out with regards to return of capital. And you have to be prepared to lose it all, because some of these businesses will fail. Okay, so those are great questions, Dawn. The other great thing about equity crowdfunding versus a fund is that you get to pick every single entrepreneur and every single business that you choose to invest in. Unlike a fund where you put all your money in and you got 5 or 6 people up at the top and they get to decide. No, you get to decide. You can see 5 different businesses. You like business number 1 and 2. Number 3 doesn't fit in your portfolio. Doesn't mean it's not a good business. It just means it doesn't work for you. So Olivia is saying here, I'm ready to invest more. I believe in the 20K project. And I believe in us, we can do it. Well, thank you. The 20K project. How about the 100 or the million project?
There's 2 more questions in the Q&A for you.
Okay.
There's one.
All righty then. Is there an age limit to become a member? The minimum age is 18. So you gotta be 18 years old. There is no maximum. Laverne is asking, I love what you guys are doing, but for my own edification, when you say the funding is for Black businesses, I would like to inquire as to how it is not considered discrimination if we only target Black businesses, but we turn others away, i.e. Caucasian businesses. So it is, well, let me answer the question like this. We have spoken with 5 or 6 different SEC attorneys, and none of them batted an eye when we said we were doing this for Black businesses. So let me calm your concerns there. We have our guide with regards to the percentage of ownership that the percentage of ownership within a business that must be African American or Black. And we are going through legal for that percentage to make sure that that percentage works. I will say this as well. It most likely will not be 100% Black owned. So you may end up with a business that has a Caucasian or another ethnicity partner in it. And that's not always bad. Mm-hmm. That's not always bad. So there are a lot of times when you need that other person because they have a network or they have a certain industry experience or something like that. As long as it benefits the entrepreneur and the community at large in terms of us as investors, then, we'll take a look at it. So I don't see any other questions. Talisha, I'd love for you to talk about what you're doing with regards to technology or anything else that's happening behind the scenes.
Okay, like I said, we just had some updates to the platform, again, some added functionality. We talk about just, the normalcy with regard to the SEC. We have it both on the investor side for that vetting to happen within the platform. Actually, there's an algorithm that lets you know when you log in, specifically when you log in, your provide all this information. So there'll be some, not so much a lengthy form. I've tried to make it as short and sweet as possible, but there are certain questions that have to be answered, namely your income, because that's what's going to be based upon how much per year that you can actually donate to, or invest in, I should say, to those. So that's something that has just been updated a little more. It kind of moves a little slicker than it did before. It was kind of a little chunky at there for a moment, but we got that together. And as well as on the entrepreneur side, there are some aspects that you need specifically if you're trying to utilize the platform to put your campaign. So you do have to have a business plan, your financials, and you'll also get what I consider one of those value added services, which is a customer journey experience. You get a dashboard showing you how many people have actually come to your campaign, how many have looked at it, what screens they saw, what information they looked at, and what part of the decision making they are, so that you can actually reach out to them and give them like a true 100%, like, are you interested? Let me help you make that decision. So you as the entrepreneur actually have complete autonomy with regard to interfacing with the people who come onto the platform and take a look at your campaign. You can really engage with them. And that's, I think, to me, a very value added service. Sometimes it's just like, here I am, come, and that's all you can do. At this point, there's a level of dialogue that you can have with your potential and prospective investors.
Yeah, and vice versa as well. The investors can have it with the issuer. I have another thing for you, Talisha.
Sure.
You are working with our team to help also build out the business directory as well.
Yes.
So I'd love for you to give people just a little primer with regards to that. We're working really hard for the community.
Yes, we've kind of gone through the little wireframe aspect of what exactly it should move through, some of the keyword searches, again, trying to make the user experience very, very easy for you to find what you're looking for. If you just know maybe the author of the content, maybe you just know the subject matter, or you want to even do it by region. Maybe you want somebody local to you so that you can interface with them in person whenever we're allowed to do that again. So we're making sure that some of the search functionality provides you with that. And there's also some favoriting. So we've gotten it to like more like I would say, a social media aspect. If you like something a lot, you can favorite it, go back and actually rate as individuals as well. So you say, this content really speaks to me. I like how you present it to me. It makes sense. You can actually at that point thank the author of that content, so that, again, for those individuals who are contributing, you have a vetting system of your own that happens within the community to make it more robust for yourselves as well. So that's a kind of a little value add. Just by being a part of the platform, you not only get reviews inside, you get them outside as well, because people will take that information and come to you at your actual website as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really great because anyone in the community will be able to post their information in our directory, and it'll be like Googleable, searchable. So that was one of the things that I had asked for, like, if I just put in a keyword in there, how can I find the person I'm looking for? And then I know sometimes, like for CPAs or people like that, you need someone in your city, or attorneys, you need someone in your city. So we've also put the location in there. So again, we are working very diligently with our team in order to make this experience just top notch for everybody.
I see the questions with regard to mobile aspect, so that you can access the platform via your mobile. It is actually mobile enabled, so that you can go through the exact same process. It's not like you have to do it on a desktop. It's probably a little bit easier in some of the aspects. And definitely for the entrepreneur, when you're loading your campaign, I would not suggest you load it from your phone, because you want to have your videos, some of the information and the content, your business plan, your financials, some of that information. It would be easier to do it. But from an investor side, yeah, you can pop in at any point in time, peruse whatever marketplace you're looking at. You're like, hey, I just want to see what's out there. You can feel free, and it's very mobile enabled, and you can see all of that information as well. And you can see your information as what you'll have as your own profile, where you left off. Maybe you want to just kind of say, hey, I want to check that out again. You can go back to where you left off in the app.
Very nice.
That's really, really cool. So we have a couple of different questions from entrepreneurs here. 206 James is asking, will you be interested in investing in my idea? And then he goes through the ideas. So here's the thing. We will have an application process for any and every individual, But before we get to that, that guide on October 27th will tell you what we are looking for. So I would suggest you go to the10kproject.com, go to the entrepreneurs page, complete that form. And when we send the guide to you on October 27th, you'll be able to read through it. And then the following week, we also have a webinar scheduled for any entrepreneurs that want to come and ask your questions. I will say though, during that webinar, if you ask us, will you fund my company? Will you fund my company? The answer will be apply, apply, apply. Read our requirements. And if you believe you fit into our requirements, then apply. So
we are not a fund. Keep that in mind. We cannot fund your business. We are
yes.
a platform to allow your business to bring in the accredited investors. So keep that in mind. We do not give you any money.
Exactly.
You need to make that really clear.
Exactly. So Mark is asking, I'm registered as a business at the moment. What is the time frame for potential funding to begin? And I understand you're at work and you missed the first 45 minutes. October 27th is the date for the Entrepreneur's Guide to be released. We are waiting SEC approval. We expect it spring 2021. However, you know how the government is. So if it's earlier, we'll accept it. If it's later, then we're just going to ask the community to be patient with us. But really, right now, we are working feverishly. There are a few things that our attorney needs us to do. And then there are some things that she's putting in place. She has done this before for other platforms. Doesn't mean 100% we're going to get approved or anything like that, because we can't guarantee anything. But when we told her what we were doing, she thought it was a great idea. She didn't bat an eye at it, you know, or anything like that. She told us some of the pitfalls that we're going to be looking out for. And we're just going through the process, you know. 206 James is asking, on the investor side, how would the return on investments work as far as payouts? Each individual entrepreneur, when they give their presentation and their pitch, will tell you that. They have to decide how that's going to work, you know. So you're going to have to read their business plan. You're going to have to attend their pitch. You're going to have to ask questions, do your own due diligence, and decide for each individual company if you want that company as part of your portfolio. And that's actually one of the great things about equity crowdfunding, again, is you have 100% control. One of the questions here from Dawn, do we think that we'll be venturing out to Africa and the Caribbean countries? No, because the SEC requires that all businesses through equity crowdfunding be US-based businesses. However, that doesn't preclude you from doing business internationally. It just means that the enterprise, the company, must be US-based. So. Dr. Kisha, do you have anything with regards to some of the behind the scenes stuff that you're doing with the Knowledge Center?
Just
or
really,
anything else?
Yeah, really just talking to some tremendous people out here with some real interesting and unique skill sets that they're willing to share with the community. So I'm excited about what we're building here. But like you said, I trust there are many, many more of you out there with some really needful and valuable information that the community needs. And I know you already know from your own target market work and client base what's needed. So when you look at our list of topics and you're like, I don't see so and so on there, please go ahead and hit the link that is in the chat for the partners and submit the information. But it's hardly an exhausted list, but I'm telling you, we're meeting really, really interesting people, and it's exciting. I'm so encouraged for our community really going forth,
Yeah. Today we were actually contacted by a gentleman who has worked with By the Block and a couple of other organizations as well. He heard about us through the grapevine, and through Eddie the Economist. So, you know, we're going to be hopefully speaking with him. We have other people who are, you know, higher level as well, who are noticing the 10K project and what we're doing. So yeah, we're extremely proud, excited, you know, hustling day and night in order to get everything done. But I will tell you this, once the SEC application is filed, my mother has required that I take a slight vacation because of all of the work that I've been doing. So you all may miss me on a Monday live Q&A. So my team may have to plug in for me. That'll be in about 3 or 4 weeks when that is filed. So
Yeah, indeed.
all righty. Well, I don't see any other questions here. So we want to thank everyone. We did receive a message and someone said they believe in us and what we're doing. We are so grateful for that. We do not take that lightly. We don't take the community support lightly. We really appreciate all of you for being here. If you want to, you know, contribute to the Knowledge Center, again, the10kproject.com/partner. Yes.
Yep.
And also, if you're an entrepreneur, the10kproject.com, go to the entrepreneur page. And if you want to be a member, the10kproject.com and hit become a member. And, you know, we're super excited, super excited. Thank you so much to everybody for being here tonight. God bless you, and hope you have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Night.